Hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Jeremy Does Plant Stuff. Today's video is all about procrastination, one of the few things I do really well. I've been making these videos for YouTube for about 6 months now, and one thing I've realized is I want to film everything, but sometimes I don't have time for that. It's a very time-consuming process to set the camera up, put on the microphone, do all that, and then film and then edit. And so what I find myself doing is certain things that I should have taken care of weeks or months ago, like up potting some little tiny pepper plants that need a lot more real estate than this stupid little pot, I put off because I just don't feel like getting out the camera. So instead of doing it off camera, it just sits there and I do it later or too late. You know, a lot of these pepper plants, look at these things. These things are tiny because they've been living in these little pots for this long. One of the other things I've been putting off for way too long is doing something with this Bokashi compost. This has been sitting in this bucket for probably 2 months longer than it needed to be, and I think I'm just going to get it out of here. If it's not too terrible, I'll bury it in this pot here and bury it for weeks and weeks, not use it, because I'm sure it's poisonous to plants now. There's a really good possibility this thing has a mind of its own now. It may escape from the bucket and get loose into the city, so apologies in advance if that happens. Anyway, I'd like to see what is going on in here, and I want to take you on the journey with me because this thing has been sitting for far too long. I opened it up a couple of weeks ago, and it didn't smell too rotten yet. Didn't smell like rotten sewer, which is good. Didn't smell like a dead body, that's good. And even right now, it smells like a sour beer, kind of. It doesn't smell like rotten food, rotten sewer, so that's good. I kept this plate on the top to keep the air out, or help keep the air out. You know, honestly, it doesn't look that bad in here. I can still see some chunks of carrots, even a little paper towel, some onion skins. On the top, doesn't look that bad. It's the bottom I'm really curious about, because that liquid's been leaching out of the compost through the upper bucket down into the lower bucket, and oh, that's nasty. There are bugs living on this bucket. They look like maggots. Holy crap, that is nasty. Ooh, and inside, still not a terrible smell, but holy crap, it's alive. There are organisms swimming around in here. I don't know what they are, but they are disgusting. I don't honestly know if I should keep this liquid or dump it out. Seems like since I'm burying it under a foot of garden soil for a month or two, maybe it'll be okay. I cannot believe this. There's millions of little weird worms in here swimming around. It's kind of disgusting. The smell, though, isn't too bad. It's not pleasant, but at least it's not rotten sewer, rotten corpse. So, anyway, let me get the camera resituated, and I think I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna bury this, see what happens, see if I get some insanely helpful compost, or if it kills everything it touches. Be right back. So this pot here is basically my catch-all for, you know, random amounts of soil if a plant dies. You know, if I don't up pot the pepper plant fast enough and it dies, that goes in here. And it's about this full, about a foot. And I think what I'm going to do for safety's sake, because because I don't want this escaping out into the city, is to bury it completely down at the bottom. So I'm going to dump this out, and then we'll see what's going on in this bucket, in the top bucket. We already saw the bottom. It was horrible. Anyway, give me a minute. You know, I kind of forgot that I had already buried some Bokashi compost down in here, and it's really decomposing nicely now. Some of the bigger stuff is still there, but this is nice, rich black soil. Some kind of plant that was trying to grow. Didn't quite make it up through the inches and inches of topsoil. That's okay. I'm going to scoop a little bit of this in here just to coat the bottom, cover the bottom. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. What's in the top bucket? Again, the smell isn't bad. Oh, touch the bottom. Ah, that's gross. Oh, God. Stop touching the bottom. Doesn't look too bad in there. Let me move the camera around so you can see this a little better. Try to remember not to touch the bottom again. Okay, here we go. See, right now it doesn't look too bad. I don't know how bad it looks on the bottom because that's even older. But we're about to find out together. Oh, it didn't flip over. I'm gonna have to reach in there. Yeah, maybe I'll use a shovel. Oh yeah, that's nasty. Wow. That is disgusting. But it's probably a good thing. It's all, again, not a really nasty smell, but sure isn't too visually appealing. And I don't see any of those creepy little worms in here. I have a feeling this might turn into good compost. So let me bury it. And, oh, almost forgot. The broth. It's going into, oh, God, that's gross. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. All right, now it's time to bury it. Look, the flies love it. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Get out of here. All right, time to bury. Looks pretty good. Well, there you have it. A fine example of what happens when you procrastinate. You end up with creepy worms in your Bokashi compost tea. I don't recommend trying that. It was just this side of horrifying. But hopefully all this activity down in this soil turns into some really nice compost. I'll keep you updated on that. And speaking of procrastinating, I had a radish up in this pot that bolted, started to flower. I decided to let it go so I could attract some pollinators. The radish doesn't look all that great anyway, but right next to it was another one, and it hadn't bolted yet, so I said, you know what, I'm just going to eat this one. So just pulled it up, rinsed it off in the sink, and for your viewing pleasure, I'm going to eat it live on camera right now. No, I don't think it's supposed to taste like that. It's a Chinese red meat radish. And there's the tiniest little indication of some red right in the middle, but flavor's not there. I wonder if they need more time. It's just all green around the edges. Huh. Break out the disappointment ointment. Anyway, I think that's it for today. Stay tuned to future videos. I'll keep you updated on this thing, and if you see on the news creepy creature crawling around Denver's alleys and no one can explain what it is, it's probably this thing. But I think that's it for now. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video.